What's going on, guys? Joshua at Trax RC, and in today's video I'm going to be doing some work on the ARRMA Kraton 6S EXB that I just traded for my Stampede 4x4 VXL. I'll put a link to that video right up here where I introduced you guys to the Kraton 6S. But in today's video, we're just going to be doing some work on it before I run it for the first time. There's a few minor things that I want to do, and there's a few things that I have to do to even drive it. So the first thing that I actually already did is just slap a GoPro mount on top. I do this with pretty much all of my RC cars, and I don't use the sticky one, although looking back on this one I probably should have used it along with the two little bolts that I used. I find that using two screws backed with a nut on the inside works a lot better than the adhesive, but on my Kraton 4S I actually used adhesive and the bolts. I just drilled right through the adhesive and the mount, and I think that works a lot better. It's gonna add a little bit of cushion to the mount as well, plus it's just gonna hold a lot better, so I'm gonna start doing that in the future. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. It looks pretty straight as well, and it's gonna be a good angle for you guys when we do some drag races, which I want to do with this thing. The second thing that I wanted to do is address the way that I mount the body. Now yes, it did of course come with the body and the body mounts and the body clips. However, the body clips, there is two orange and one red. I don't like that color combination already because I like my RCs to look good for your viewing pleasure, and I got a whole pack of these black clips right here because I need more body clips anyways, so I just got a 100 pack. And then I also didn't like how this RC doesn't have the ARRMA body retainers, those rubber pieces, so I picked up those. Yes, they do come with body clips, but ARRMA clips are trash, so that's why I got these body clips. They're like a Trax style, and I run them on my Kraton 4S and I have no issues. It's super easy to get the body on and off, so we're going to be installing that as well. And then finally I got new body posts because the front ones are completely wore down and you can barely get a body clip on this one without it like poking through the top, and then this one's almost getting to that point. So yeah, the front ones need to be replaced. The rears are fine, but just going to be putting the front ones on for right now. And then another thing that I'm going to do with the body is trim around this hole a little bit better. It looks very jank and it's not a straight edge like in any shape or form, so I'm gonna be redoing that a little bit. I'm not gonna utilize this because, for you guys that don't know, this RC is on 8S. It has an 8S system and it can run on 8S batteries, and to fit the 8S batteries, the previous owner drilled a hole right here so the batteries can poke through a little bit and you could put the body on. I'm not gonna be running this thing on the 8S because I don't want to strip out the diffs as those are stock, and my 4S batteries won't fit, it's too tall. But I'm just gonna be redoing this hole a little bit. I may throw some mesh over it just to kind of hide it, and then to preserve the life of this body, which it's getting near the end. I mean, there's cracks right here that are almost to the body holes, and then these two right up here from the shocks rubbing. So to preserve the life of this body a little bit, I'm gonna be backing it with this black tape. I did it on my Kraton 4S body, and after I hit the tree, jeez, the body is still crack free. So I'm going to be doing the duct tape method on this body as well. Now for under the body, we're going to be doing a few mods. First one, if I flip this bad boy around, is the battery tray. I don't know how the previous owner ran this thing on 8S. I mean, one crash and the straps are just going to rip off. There's no loop where it can like tighten, you know? I mean, I try to get these straps as tight as I could with my two 3S batteries, and they were still very loose, so I hate these battery straps. And then the previous owner also cut up the front of the battery tray to fit bigger batteries, I think, so I don't like that. I'm not going to be utilizing that, so I went ahead and picked up a whole new battery tray with battery straps. Battery security is very important to me, so this is going to offer a lot more protection to the batteries that I'm going to be running. And speaking of batteries, I run Deans on pretty much everything. And because I've been getting more into these ARRMAs, I want to swap everything over, or the majority of my batteries over, to EC5s. So I picked up a whole 20-piece kit, I think, of EC5 plugs that I'm going to do some soldering work to. And the reason why I did this instead of buying adapters, which I do have adapters. I should clarify something here. I can run this RC right now because the two 3S batteries that I want to run in this are Deans plugs, and then I have two adapters that go from Deans to EC5, and then EC5 is compatible with the two IC5s on the ESC. But the issue with the adapter is that it means that I have to run the Deans plug on the battery, and the Deans plugs get very hot, and the EC5s are just able to tolerate a lot more amperage, so that's why I'm basically swapping everything over. So that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna do a lot of soldering. boring. And then the last few things that I want to do is swap out the radio system. The guy gave me this because he was running like a DX5C or something in it, and he just threw this in with the deal. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll take it, and I'm just gonna be ripping it out. And then I was looking through my spare parts. I have 3 options for radios, right? The first option that I was thinking is using a Trax radio that I have. This one's actually brand new. And then I didn't have any brand new receivers. The ones that I found though have jank antennas. This one's cut for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't think that one's gonna work all that well. So this one was out of the question because I didn't want to buy a new Traxxas receiver. And then the next one I found was this Tactic radio, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory why I'm not using this. And then in the spare parts that I got of Colin and Sean's RCs, because I pretty much have all their stuff at my house now, which if you're a new viewer of the channel, you have no clue what I'm talking about, but that's okay. But I found in his parts a SR415 receiver, and I think this receiver is compatible with the DX5C that he has that he uses on the VSCX10 II crawler. And I think lucky enough that this receiver is already binded to this radio, because I think this is the receiver that he had in his Stampede 2-wheel drive before he sold it, and I already changed the name. If I go over here to model select, you can see we got the Kraton 6S and the VSCX10 II. So I think this is the correct receiver for the Kraton model. I just renamed it from the Stampede. So yeah, we're gonna see if that works. And then the last thing that I'm gonna do is add an antenna tube. This RC does not have an antenna tube on. I don't know why, but we're gonna throw this on, and it's in red, which is a cool bonus. So yeah, guys, we got a lot of work to do, but I'll put you guys back on here in a second with the final product. Alright guys, so I just wrapped up working on the Kraton. The body clips are smooth as butter now, super easy to get off. And then of course under the body, got it all protected using all that duct tape. And then for the hole, I ended up trimming around it a little bit better, just make the edges a little bit straighter. And then I added this mesh off of like a hot racing dust shield that you put over a chassis of a Slash. I had one laying around and I don't have a Slash anymore, so I just cut it up and it looks pretty good. I just used some hot glue and it should last, I think. So it looks better than just having a hole there. Added some zip ties right here on the back corners, so then it's a little bit more sturdy around the body holes. And then on these 2 holes up here, I actually used multiple layers of duct tape, so then hopefully they don't continue to get bigger. And I did the same thing up here by the headlights where there's holes drilled, so then they can't open up more. And that's about it for the body. And then for the chassis, the first thing I did that I don't think I mentioned earlier was I adjusted the front shocks so then they're in the most upright position. I just noticed that this RC really doesn't have a lot of suspension travel compared to my Kraton 4S, and I like the amount of travel on the 4S ARRMAs, so yeah, I just wanted to see if that would help anything. I installed the battery tray, and there was a lot cut off of the old battery tray, but I didn't even realize that there was a spot right here that you could like strap the balance leads in, so that's kind of cool. And then got the new battery straps, and everything is so much more secure, like it's not going anywhere, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then on my batteries, I had to extend the wires, as you can see. I also soldered the EC5 plugs on there, and I like these plugs a lot. They weren't too bad to solder actually, and I like how they fit in there. So now that's going to work a lot better than using the EC5 to Dean's adapters. Of course, got the new antenna tube right there, along with the SR415 receiver, so then I could use the DX5C that Colin so graciously provided me for this build. But in reality, he has no clue that I used it, so Colin, if you're watching this, thank you. But if you ever want it back, just let me know and I'll take it out. But I mean, other than that, that's really all that I did. Oh, I did reroute the wires a little bit under here. They got awfully close to the drive shaft, so I just zip tied them to this center brace. Now, the last thing that I need to address that I was not planning to address is this, but I need to plug everything in so I can show you guys. So, I'm gonna turn the remote on, and then once I plug these batteries in, the car will turn on, right? You know, it works fine. Now, when I first drove this thing, when I test drove it, when I first got it, right, I noticed that it was not very fast. It really did not feel any faster than my Kraton 4S. If anything, the Kraton 4S felt faster. And I think I found the issue why. If I lift up the front, hit the gas, there is like no fluid in the center diff, and if there is any fluid, it is very, very thin. Like I'm talking like 30 weight shock oil thin. So I don't know what's in there. So I just went ahead and picked up some 500,000 weight diff lube. I'm not exactly sure how thick it's gonna be because I really wanted like a 500,000 CST, but it wasn't gonna be here in time because I need it for this weekend. So yeah, we're gonna try it out. It's gonna be better than what's in here, I think. So I'm gonna work on swapping that out, and then I'll put you guys back on here in a second when it's all in. All right, guys. So with this center diff, diff. I'm working on just cleaning everything up right now. When I took it apart, it had really no fluid in it, and the fluid that was in it was this color. It's black. It's not gritty, which is good. There's no wear on any of the gears, so that's a good sign, but it definitely needed to be replaced and topped off. I noticed that this seal right here was very falling apart. I mean, you can see there's a whole half missing. So I ordered new seals, and they sadly won't be here until tomorrow, or I guess 2 days. Today's Wednesday night. They're not coming until Friday, and I am leaving for a little trip on Thursday, which I'm bringing basically all of my RC cars, and I'm going to be filming all the videos for the rest of the year for the most part, because really won't have time to do it any other weekend. So that's why I'm kind of in a rush to get this done, and I'm not going to be filming the rest of this just because I won't be fixing it here in the studio. I'm going to be fixing it somewhere else. Yeah, this is going to be pretty much another video, so I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like, share it with others so that I can grow my channel, and with that, I will see you guys in the next video on Trax RC. Aside from my soul.